Oh, oh. It's a slow start for me today. Tell you, sometimes slow starts feel really good. This is one of those times. Was able to sleep in till, I don't know, 6:45. Woke up a couple times during the night. Hello, Chip. Was able to drift back off to sleep, and not just drift. Go into sweet, sweet slumber. Woke up again at like 6:45. Laid there for a while. Usually need to think of things I'm grateful for, or focus on gratitude, or say a little prayer or whatever to get out of bed. For some reason, I think we're all wired a little differently. And for some reason, I think the wiring, the feelings that I have now are more normal human feelings that I wake with most mornings. Ones of fear and franticness and needing to worry about getting everything done. And right now I feel like one of those people that sleeps in and is hard to get out of bed. Usually it's pretty easy to get me out of bed. It feels like the bed's on fire and I got to get going and I'm in fight or flight mode. And today I just kind of feel I'm moving a little slower. And not active mind, fairly content. I mean, heck, I think I could go back to sleep. That's how content I am. That's about as content as can be. That's barely conscious. That's so content. I don't know. Feels kind of good. I kind of like it, though. Wish they had a pill for this feeling. Good morning, Brenda. I put it in a bottle and sell a whole bunch. But anyway, good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It's a show I've been doing for quite some time. It is a show about me talking. Brenda Lee has been asking if I've had any luck finding housing, permanent housing. Brenda, I'm not even looking for permanent housing. I signed here for a month, and I'm focusing on other things. I'm just focusing on other things. I'm at an extended stay in Naperville. I got a lot going on in life. I'm training at a job. I'm totally content with where I'm staying. I'm totally content with where I'm staying right now. And I'm not even really looking. I mean, every once in a while I might look. But you've asked a couple days in a row, so I thought I'd address it. I'm perfectly happy here right now. And I'm not putting any effort of significance into finding more permanent housing, just because I got a lot going on, and I don't think there's a great need for it right now. I just re-signed up for a month here, and which gave me a discounted rate, and to be honest, I'd have a hard time finding housing any cheaper. Yes, I'd like to have a patio to sit out and relax and what have you. There'd be certain niceties I'd like, but this is plenty good enough, and pleased with where I'm at, and really not even thinking about it just because, again, I'm training at work, I'm trying to see my kids, I'm doing a million different things, and trying to pay my bills, and finding new housing at this moment doesn't feel very priority. I'm honestly pretty pleased with where I am at. I tell you what, everyone should go live in National Park for a while and go live in a dorm without air conditioning and with roommates and communal cafeteria and communal bathrooms. I was thinking about it last night. I was going, hey, do I want to take a bath? Nah, let's not take a bath tonight. Let's just relax. Maybe I'll take one in the morning. I tell you what, you guys, all you guys out there in your fancy schmancy housing, your own homes, don't know what it's like. Don't know what it's like. Go live in a national park and have roommates again. And worry when you're coming home from work that you're waking up your roommate, or that if you got to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you got to go down the hall and go down the stairs and then go into this community bathroom and wonder if some guy's going to be next to you. Yuck. Jack Taylor loves the lamp lighting. Well, thank you, Jack Taylor. But anyway, this is a show I've been doing for quite some time. And again, it's a show about me talking. It's a show about me sharing some ups and downs and sharing a little bit about life and the lessons we learn. And again, I think there's value in learning the lessons in the housing situation. How you take things like, I don't know, we all want granite countertops and, stainless steel appliances and hardwood gleaning floors. And if you go, in my case, but there's other situations, again, live in a national park with a dorm, in a dorm with roommates and a communal bathroom and cafeteria housing, eating off a tray. Or cafeteria feeding, eating off a tray. Your housing needs and your expectations change a whole lot. And it's probably healthy. It's probably a good experience. Because I think in the outside world, which this is, it's easy to try and keep up with the Joneses. And the Joneses just put a new driveway in, and you look at your driveway and go, oh, it doesn't look as nice as it did when we moved in. How about we put in one? Or they got a new kitchen, or they're doing this, or they're getting new windows, or they're putting a new roof on. And I'm all for niceties and making your home look nice. But I think it would, just easy to get caught in that trap, I guess, if you will. Would it be a good experience for your 20-year-old boys? I tell you what, they'd probably love it. I think it'd be great for a 20-year-old boy. They'd make money. They wouldn't spend it. They'd live in the mountains. They'd go hiking. Yeah. I think as a kid, because it's mostly kids there, it's mostly, 19, 20 to 25-year-old, and then there's a group of retired people, and then there was me missing his kids. But again, it was great financially. It was great financially. And because, again, I'm kind of belittling the housing because, honestly, it kind of sucked having a communal bathroom. However, the price was really nice. The price was really nice. Again, at $500 a month. And life is more expensive out here. I mean, to rent anything where I live is a couple $100 a month. Or not, a couple $1,000 a month, just about. It's a lot of money. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, it is not just a show about me talking. We're going into the dark. Don't worry. It's not that I haven't paid my electric bills. I don't have any electric bills. So remember, I'm in extended stay. They pay the electric bills. It's just because I haven't turned on any lights in my fancy schmancy kitchen. For those that have been watching a while, it's not just a show about me talking. It is also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I now have just poured. You actually saw me pour it. This will be the day. This will be the day that people, RJ or Jack Taylor, will be hopping on. Remember that day you poured the coffee in the dark? Oh, yeah. That was awesome television. Use the carafe as my mug. It's too late, RJ. It's too late. As I was saying, it's a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I have a nice hot cup of coffee, and I am so excited to have my first sip at this early hour. My hope is that wherever you are, one day I'm going to mix up my introduction, and you guys are going to wonder who the heck you're watching. Who are you watching? Who is this man? Who is this imposter? This is not the man they call Coffee with Ken. This is some phony, because his intro is totally different. But anyway, my hope is that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you have a nice hot cup of coffee as well, in front of you as well. Cheers to us. As I lay in bed this morning, really, really comfortable and really barely wanting to get out of bed and really thankful, which I'll get back to in a moment. I wondered what coffee I'd have. And I knew I'd had the smoked butterscotch 2 days ago, which I thought was good. Then yesterday I had the pumpkin spice, which was awesome. This morning I was going, should I go back to the smoked butterscotch, give it another try? Should I have the pumpkin spice, which I know is awesome? And I said no. No and no. Let's go for the Sumatra. Oh, yes. Let's go for the Sumatra. And I'll tell you what, I'm glad I did. I think it'll help me wake up a little more. I think his name was David from Australia, said he's out in Australia. Yeah. And it's 10:15 there. It's too late for coffee. I guess 10:15 would be a little late for coffee. I'm not afraid to drink coffee at night. But at 10:15, I'm usually unconscious at 10:15. I appreciate you being awake this late, David, and tuning in at night. I wonder if I'm a good sedative. If watching me down in Australia, down under, would help one sleep. Probably. Sometimes I'll be editing a video in bed and I'll find myself waking up and the video will be over. And I'll go, wait, I don't remember doing any real serious editing. How do we get to the end? Oh, I must have fallen asleep. I'm glad, David. Thank you for joining. Let the word out. Let the word out. I'd love to be huge in Australia. I think Australia is probably a neat place. Wonder if I'll ever go. I wonder if I'll ever go. Never really had any great desire. Nothing personal about Australia, of course. Just a long way away. A long way away. In the whole grand scheme of thing that is our life, the flight wouldn't take too long. I guess I've never even been to Hawaii or Alaska. Idaho. I was so close to Idaho. I was so close. I was like 10 miles from Idaho. About a month ago. Went up to Big Sky, Montana. Big Sky, Montana. Sorry, RJ. You're right, you cannot scooter to Australia. I'll bet you there's some scooters in Australia. Big Sky, Montana wasn't my thing, but I'll tell you what, it's a really pretty drive from West Yellowstone up to Bozeman. And when you're on that ride, you're going through Big Sky, and there are plenty of nice places to stop and grab some lunch and have some coffee and walk around and shop. So it was neat in that aspect. I know it was fairly crowded when I was there, but it's a skiing community in Montana that's kind of a cool place, and there's some celebrities that have homes out there. And I guess if you're a big enough celebrity, it's pretty easy to have a home out anywhere. I heard Justin Timberlake, I think, has a place out there. Yeah. I kind of like Justin Timberlake. Somebody asked on Facebook the other day, Backstreet Boys or NSYNC? And I'll let you guys ponder that question for a moment. I'm going to have another sip and let you ponder that life-impacting question. Backstreet Boys or NSYNC? Let me tell you. My answer was Backstreet Boys, obviously. I wouldn't even think it's a comparison. You know, I think NSYNC came along afterwards. I think Backstreet Boys had a more interesting ensemble of characters, had better music. I mean, what's that song? You are my fire, my one desire. You know the song. Oh, you know the song. Oh, you know the song. I don't know the words, or I'd keep singing it. Do I remember Hanson? Yes, they were a couple like blonde kids. I think they were Christian kids. I shared an office with my oldest brother, Scott, were we at Bear Stearns when we were in the brokerage business. And for some reason, he, in all seriousness, was into them. And what they sang a song like, do-wop, beep-it-up, boo-wop, doop-it-up. And we were like in these suits and supposed to be mature adults and supposed to be stockbrokers at a big name Wall Street company. And I walk in, do-wop, dip-it-up, do-wop, do-do-do-do. What are you going to do with the scooter in the wintertime? What am I going to do with the scooter in the wintertime? I'm probably going to park it and not ride it. I don't have all the answers, but I wouldn't imagine I'll be riding it again. It's late August. I usually ride it till early November. I first bought a scooter 10 years ago, or actually probably 11 or 12 years ago now, my very first scooter. It was time like this, after a divorce, money tight, didn't have a car. I bought it in September and loved it. It was a Kymco Agility 125, a small little scooter, and rode it for 3 months as a realtor. Funny, I'd go on showings with it. And I mean, it could only go 50 miles an hour. But I did my best. I did my best even back then. RJ says the Farmer's Almanac is calling for a mild winter. I wonder how much the Farmer's Almanac really knows. I mean, I would assume maybe they do. Maybe they do. But I mean, it was a mild winter last winter, and the winters seem to be getting milder. Good morning, James Van Dam. Thank you for tuning in today. I so appreciate you. I'm going to have another sip of coffee. Oh. No, thank you, RJ. No, thank you. RJ very generously offered to get me a copy of the Farmer's Almanac. I picture RJ sitting at home with this. I don't know how thick the Farmer's Almanac. He's probably doing a Google search online for the Farmer's Almanac predictions. But I prefer to think of RJ with the actual almanac and opening it up and flipping it on page by page. Rich Sternicle says he knew I'd be a Backstreet Boy fan. Well, really? Is there any competition? Is there any competition? I mean, Yeah, I mean, again, I just thought the music touched my soul. I still have a Backstreet Boys song on my playlist. Again, that "You Are My Fire" song, whatever it's called. But if I could add a third band, and this isn't of the same generation, but I would say One Direction over. I mean, it's hard to say over Backstreet Boys because I almost consider Backstreet Boys classic music these days. But I thought One Direction was an extremely talented band with a lot of good songs. And I know they probably had a ton of money behind them. And what's his name? Harry Styles is, I mean, still out there putting out music and doing huge shows. So super, mega successful dude. And mega successful band. And I've told the story before about going to see the 1D movie. Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, I did. Good Wednesday morning, Lisa. David's asking, how about that? I don't know what that is. Is that one of the Korean pop musics? David just asked, and I'm scared to say it because some people put words out there that if I say aloud or fast enough are bad words. So I'm frightened to say this word that David just spelled out for me. So I won't. Oh, New Kids on the Block. Thank you. Eh. They had whatchamacallit's brother in that. That sucks. That sucked to be whatchamacallit's brother. What's his name? I like the actor. Boston guy. Gets in fights in his movies. Tough guy, funny guy. With Will Ferrell in a few movies. Somebody help me out. RJ, you were born in 1987. You've never even heard of the Jackson 5. Well, we're going to say the Jackson 5. Donnie Wahlberg, thank you. Mark Wahlberg and Donnie Wahlberg, yeah. I think Donnie was in New Kids on the Block. Do you know what movie he made his comeback in? He got, I mean, as we like to recycle things, bell-bottom jeans, plaid, afros. Maybe the bald head will get recycled. It'll go very out of fashion. And I'll look like a bigger dork than I even am because I'll be walking around still rocking the bald head and somebody's going to go, hey, sir, the bald head is so not cool anymore. That was so 2000. Get with the decade. You must be a boomer. You must be a boomer. Not officially a boomer. I don't know. This whole Gen thing, I don't know. Sure, I think I'm officially a Gen Xer. But I think when I was alive, when I was a kid, I didn't know there was such a thing as a Gen Xer. I'd heard of the baby boomers, and that was the period right after World War II to like 1963, all the kids that were born. But that's because so many kids were born, so many men were coming back from Europe or World War II and having babies and building homes and created the baby boomer. I don't know that there's a requirement every 5 or 10 years to come out with a new gen. I don't know. Did I enjoy Sonny and Cher? Well, a little bit I did. And you all that are under 50 years old are missing certain things from your childhood. All in the Family. Sonny and Cher was a little variety show that was going on in the 70s. And I don't know when it stopped. I'd say probably mid to late 70s. But I think you could see the shadow outline of Sonny and Cher behind them. The Osmonds had a show. And then Donnie and Marie had a show. I'm a little bit country. And I'm a little bit rock and roll. I don't even know who was country and who was rock and roll, but that was Donnie and Marie. I think Marie Osmond, who must be like 70, and she's still in commercials, and she's kind of a babe. Might be a little creepy to think of Marie Osmond as a babe. But she was like 20 years old when I was 10 and watching her for the first time. And she was a little bit country. Kind of reminds me of Marianne from Gilligan's Island. Donnie still performs? Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they were a bunch of good-looking kids with big smiles and I think Mormon upbringing, if memory serves. Jackson 5 was interesting, obviously, and obviously had one of the biggest stars of all time. I think there might have been a cartoon after the Jackson 5. Bet you anything there were lunchboxes. Lunchboxes used to be big things. If anyone out there has a lot of stake money and wants to invest with me with my brilliant idea, I say we bring back the lunchbox. And I'm sure they have waterproof, less steel contraptions that could be used as weapons if you're angry at one of your classmates. But there was something about a lunchbox. Yeah, I don't know. Bringing back memories. Mr. Mason loved the Trapper Keeper for school. I don't remember I remember the word. I can't picture what it was. Was it a big folder? I don't know what the Trapper Keeper was. My ankle's still not right, by the way. I don't want to show you or get too graphic, but the scabs have pretty much fallen off, although there's still some rough patches. And it still doesn't feel right. What kid of kind of lunchboxes did I have? I don't remember. I don't remember having a lunchbox that was ever super special to me, despite the fact that I bring up the subject. I think we were a brown paper bag family. I think I was a brown paper bag family. And I know I'm just some old fart talking like your dad saying, hey, we used to walk both ways uphill in the snow every day to school 5 miles. But I am telling you what. You knew the wealthy kids from the not-so-wealthy kids by how many crayons were in their box of crayons. And the wealthy kids with their, I'm going to use this term again, fancy schmancy crayon sharpener hole in the 64 box. Oh, really? They had it all. I feel bad kind of for my mom because it was probably rough raising me and my 2 older brothers and my little sister. And I'm sure money was tight for him. I'm going to get a little teary-eyed. Rich Sternicle said he still remembers trading Pop-Tarts with me. I remember it differently, Rich Sternicle. I remember you being generous and giving me a Pop-Tart. I do. That's Rich Sternicle. I sat across from him, I think, in 6th grade at Bel Air Middle School, is watching right now. And his mom had the attention to detail. Or perhaps he didn't have, I don't know why. But either way, he had Pop-Tarts in his bag. And Rich Sternicle would often give me, what a kind guy. I don't know if I had to return anything. I think he was just a sweet guy. He probably still is a sweet guy. But used to give me a cinnamon Pop-Tart from time to time in 6th grade. Thank you, Rich. I didn't say thank you in 6th grade. I say thank you now, and I really mean it. For some reason, I think he got cinnamon Pop-Tarts. And to this day, to this day, I'm still a fan of the cinnamon Pop-Tart. It's still, although the pumpkin pie Pop-Tart, by the way, if anyone's looking for a good Pop-Tart, and you guys know I worked at Super Target a year ago, almost left a year ago to the day. Next month it'll be a year ago that I left Super Target. Kind of funny. They had a big corporate announcement like the week I left. And I did shows about, and I don't try and do very fancy videos. Hello, young Madre. I don't try and do very fancy videos, but occasionally I'm tech savvy enough that on certain apps you can do like a green screen. And a year ago, or it'll be a year ago next month, right after I left, they came out with a bad sales and earnings announcement, and the stock dropped from like 130 something to 105 in a day. And I couldn't help myself but come out as a fake newsman with the green screen of the stock decline, drastic stock drop, and announce that the stock had fallen. The CEO wasn't sure of the cause, but rumors persisted that Ken Tracy, who manned the cereal aisle in the Warrenville store, had left, crushing the stock, hurting future revenue estimates and earnings. Yeah. I caught a lot of grief for that video. It does deserve a repost. It does deserve a repost. My tummy's grumbling. My tummy is grumbling. Oh. But anyway, it's Wednesday morning. Again, I got a great night's sleep. Oh, I wanted to talk about gratitude for a little bit. I think if you get a great night's sleep and you're still, I've had stuffed hash browns, RJ. I've had stuffed hash browns. There's a store or a restaurant in Oswego called the Oswego Family Restaurant, and they're wonderful. It's a great breakfast joint. They only take cash or checks. Who takes checks? Cash or checks? They have an orange phone that actually works, an old-fashioned dial phone, and it rings. And you can call cell phones. Call up my daughter on it, and it still works. And you're going, she picks up her cell phone over there and is going, what's going on? She barely even knows the phone's ring. Hi, it's me. Good morning, Lynn. How are you? You make me smile, Lynn. I don't know. Lynn makes me smile. Some of my darkest times over the last 5 years, I've reached out to this woman. I don't even really know her that well. I know her fairly well, but it's not like we have a long history. But we used to do yoga classes together and enjoyed that. And she was a more skilled yogi practitioner than I, and used to do like fancy headstands and wow me, going, wow, she really knows her yoga. She always gets that spot right by the front. I would often get a spot by the front. It's interesting. When you take a yoga class, it's easy to fall into a routine and want to be in the same spot time and time again. Sometimes I think it's good to shake up that routine and move around. But I really felt most comfortable when I would have the same spot every day. But anyway, I was talking about it a little bit ago. I woke up, deep sleep, great sleep. Felt so comfortable in bed. The whole fight or flight that I think I struggle with all my life of, I got to go do this, I got to do this. Is this going to happen? What's going on? Kind of anxiety that I wrestle with wasn't there. And I was just comfortable in bed. And it's almost 7 o'clock and I'd been asleep for pretty much 9 hours. felt it was probably time to get up because I do have things to accomplish today, believe it or not. But it felt so good. And normally I got to be very specific and very intentional to focus on gratitude, to turn my mood around and to turn the worry or the fear or the fight or flight or the anxiety around. And I'll think, thank you, God, for the bed, or thank you, God, for the pillows or the sunrise or my kids or whatever, or the coffee. But today I just laid there, I kid you not. And again, I'm not pounding the religious, spiritual pavement, but I'm just telling you it works. And just laid there in peace and comfort and said, thank you, Lord, for nothing specific. Just kind of everything. The calm in my heart and in my mind and the comfort in the bed and the room I had. And I think God knew what I was talking about. It was everything. I had a guy message me last night saying he's searching for happiness or looking for happiness, and he finds my videos inspirational. And I responded that happiness is all around us. Because I think it is. And all it takes is acknowledging the good things we have in our lives. The comfortable bed, the warm cup of coffee, the roof over our head, my son's laughter as he slid down the slide yesterday at his mom's backyard. I think happiness is all around us. And I think what it takes is noticing it and acknowledging it and seeing it and saying, hey, no matter how much stress I'm under or how much I'm struggling or what I'm dealing with, it's a blessing to have those green leaves on the tree out there with the sunlight just hitting them, the first rays of morning sunlight, and finding the good in the chaos, if you will. Because I think happiness is within us all and all around us, and we just got to get better at recognizing it and noticing it and appreciating it. And the more we notice, what you focus on expands. And if you focus on the blessings, you're going to have more. And I'll tell you what, if you focus on the bills you have, and let me tell you, I know this from personal experience, it seems you always have more of them too. The only thing good about bills is having enough money in your account to pay them. Feels like you're almost killing them. Go away. And this is me writing a check. And again, we don't do that anymore, but that's still my memory. There were times in my life, I still might hide from the mailbox. I wouldn't pick up the mail but once a week, maybe. Mailman probably hated me every morning or every day when he came by, wedging that last bill or attorney letter into my mailbox. If I could do one thing, if I had the magic power to make you guys all do what I would like and to spread goodness and kindness, I would hypnotize you right now and get you to write a handwritten note to somebody today. And there's 32 people watching. I will tell you what, if 32 people out there wrote a handwritten note, a kind note, a loving note, a thankful note, a just thinking of you note, and it doesn't have to be long, but it does have to be handwritten and mailed. It would do the world a heck of a lot of good. There'd be 32 little bits of goodness going through the post office. And that'd be a really good thing. Life feels like a never-ending struggle for me right now. I don't see the silver lining, and I keep moving. Hopefully one day it all makes sense. Joshua, I know that feeling. I mean, it's still a struggle for me. I'm going to wait tables. I'm working the lunch shift today. I didn't even know we had a lunch shift. I'm 56 years old. I got a college degree. I certainly didn't plan on it. I've got bills to pay and worries to have. So, first of all, know you're not alone with the never-ending struggle. I think life is a bit of a struggle. Life is a bit of a struggle. And it doesn't end. You know, there's going to be issues. My dad's 84. I'll bet you he's got thoughts on his mind and worries and bills to pay and stuff. But I think it's how we perceive it. And I think maybe accepting that life's a struggle and not fighting it so much. Who said that? Was this Joshua or something like that? Joshua James. Life feels like a never-ending struggle. Maybe learning to be okay that, you know, you're always going to have issues. And that life's not all about rainbows and sunshine. But it's about noticing the sunshine when it happens, or noticing the rainbow when it happens, and appreciating it, and not just taking it for granted. That helps you get through the struggle that can be life. I don't know if I know what I'm talking about. I'm just telling you what I do. Because, yeah, I mean, I'm not dreading work today at all. It might even be cool. Never done a lunch shift. Don't know how busy we'll be at lunch. I have some good questions for the restaurant. I'm still keeping it a little quiet because, I don't know, I told everybody where I was working. And on my last day of training 2 weeks ago, they told me they didn't need an extra waiter. That was a kick in the gut. But anyway, so I figure karma. Don't want to get you guys' hopes up and tell you where I'm working. And so anyway, but I do have some legitimate questions about my restaurant that I don't understand completely. I'm going to have to leave it vague for you. B-Storm is hopping on from Waco, Texas, where she says it's hot, 104 degrees. Yeah, I don't have any use for that. I don't mean, my brother lives in Austin, Texas. I got no use for Texas. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm glad it exists. I'm glad. I like the show Dallas. But other than that, I don't have a whole heck of... I thought Austin was kind of a neat town or city. But I don't have a whole heck of a lot of use for Texas. It's pretty hot there. Yeah. Sorry. Nothing personal, of course. It's not a loathing of it or anything. No overly negative feelings. I just don't like really hot weather. A few years ago, my nephew Colin got married, and my wife and I, and my little nugget of love, Augie. That dates it. He was a baby. We took Augie, who wasn't even 6 pounds. He was only like a month and a half old, and he was born with Down syndrome, and he was small. And he was small as a baby, and he was only like a month and a half old. And we took him down to Texas to a wedding, and it was like 100 and some degrees. And he was the tiniest little thing. And he was smaller than most newborns. So I think when people saw him, they didn't even know what species he was, because he was probably only 5.5 pounds at the time. But he was a good little thing, and I was still drinking at the time. And we went to Fort Worth, Texas, and he would sleep, and we'd belly up to some bars in Fort Worth, Texas, which I thought was a pretty neat little community, by the way. And, yeah. He's not even 4 years old yet, so. Was it stressful? No, he was a good little sleeper. And I'm not sure if it's because he was so little. And I'm sure it's a lot of it's because my wife handled most of the baby details. The pack, I did the carrying, but the packing of the stroller and the making sure all the diapers were packed, I'm sure my wife handled most of those responsibilities. But I didn't find it really stressful. And I'm sure she was probably nursing too. But he was a good little sleeper. He was a good little sleeper. But yeah, it was in June. It was in June, the wedding. And he was born on April 30th. And he was born under 6 pounds, and he lost weight like a lot of babies do. And I think he was on the rebound, but he was probably 5.5 pounds. And a sweet little angel, and he's still a sweet little angel. And I referred to him about 20 minutes ago when I talked about appreciating being thankful for his laughter as he went down the slide yesterday. He and his sister, they're going to be best friends. They're going to be best friends. And again, because he has Down syndrome, he didn't, I think he developed slower, or maybe he'll be smaller all his life than a non-Down syndrome child. But he and his sister, who's coming up on 2, are just about the same size. And just about the same level of physical development. And it's just super cute watching them run around and go down the slide and do their thing. Be brothers and sisters. Oh, Sheila's birthday is April 30th also. I'll have to remember that next year. It's going to be a busy day for me, oh Sheila. 2 of my kids are born on April 30th, and now oh Sheila is also born on April 30th. Going to be a busy day indeed. But anyway, it's Wednesday morning. I get to go to work later this morning. Working towards finishing up training and at the restaurant. Got to close 2 nights and then open 2 shifts as well. And this is my first opening shift. It'll be interesting to see how crowded it is at lunchtime. I wouldn't anticipate a big crowd on a Wednesday in late August at this particular restaurant. But you don't know. You don't know. Hopefully I'll learn what you have to do to open. They don't serve brunch. I don't really know, honestly. Mary McDillo asked if they serve brunch. I mean, I'm assuming it's our regular menu. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll tell you tomorrow. It'll be probably on the different social media platform. Been bouncing back and forth. I'm still undecided. I've talked to a couple confidants. Instagram feels friendly and safe and nice and kind and loving. And I appreciate it. But for some reason, I got some friends over on the dark side that is TikTok. So I go live on there every other day. Kind of a different experience and kind of undecided about the viability of that platform long term as a content creator. But I haven't totally given up with it yet. Somebody says they follow me in Greece. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for following me in Greece. I appreciate that. Do we still have Bob from Australia? I don't know Greek. It's all Greek to me. But I'd like to say something in Greece. What is it? Whopa! I work in a restaurant. I know whopa is what you yell, and that might not even be the official word. Yeah, Sharon says there's some real mix on TikTok, good and bad. Yeah, there's some good things about the platform. Thank you for your great content. Oh, well, that's so sweet of you for saying. Thank you for saying that. Okay, is that what the word is? And it's when they light the cheese on fire that you scream it in the restaurant. But when you work in a restaurant and somebody drops a glass and breaks, I think you yell at them too. Gino from Philly. Hello, Julie Flanagan goes, yo, from Philly. I love that. Yo. Is that really a Philly thing? Didn't Rocky used to say yo? Yeah, yo, Adrian. Must be a Philly thing, because Gino from Philly just said yo. I appreciate that, Gino. Made me think of Rocky. Yeah. But again, it's Wednesday morning, and I had a great night's sleep. And I got a full pot of coffee to drink, or at least minus 1 cup. I got a couple apples in my fridge and a couple bananas that I'm going to have this morning. Maybe a little cottage cheese. I'm trying to figure out what my diet's going to look like outside of the national park. Haven't figured it out yet. Haven't cooked anything in my fancy extended stay, but I do have a fridge filled with minimalist stuff, and that's all right. But I'm looking forward to eating a couple apples, having a banana, having some more coffee, maybe hopping on, maybe FaceTiming my little ones, and maybe watching a little CNBC to start my day to see what's going on in the markets and kind of get ready for my morning and get ready for my day. And I don't know, kind of looking forward to it. And I think it started with a great night's sleep, and it was followed up with a delicious cup of coffee and having a nice audience here on Instagram. So I want to thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate you. I think I'm going to shave today. This was almost mandatory in Yellowstone, having facial hair. I don't like the way it feels. I feel dirty. So if you tune in tomorrow over on TikTok, I'm probably going to be clean shaven. So say goodbye beard, or facial hair. But I appreciate you guys for joining, and I hope your week's going real well. And I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful night's sleep last night. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're living in the moment. Hope you're living in gratitude. And if the gentleman that feels life's a never-ending struggle for right now, I get it. But you can turn that around. And I think the best way, first of all, acknowledging the struggle and saying, hey, maybe life can be a struggle sometimes. But if we think about things we're grateful for, life feels a whole lot easier and a whole lot more enjoyable and a whole lot better. So I'd encourage you to try and do that and look at the day and look for things to be grateful for, and your day will go better. So anyway, thank you so much. I'm grateful for you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you're feeling good, having a great week. You're loving yourself. You're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.